Hi, my French exploratory students. So this week we are going to be looking at education in France. I have linked the Google slide here so I can show it to you. I want to just show you also how you can maybe see it better on your computer or on your phone or wherever you're looking at it at. So we are going to start with the education in France. I am going to want you to read through this. I'm going to give you a couple highlights here in a second, but if you can see where my cursor is, I'm going to hit this zoom button. Okay, it might be kind of small when you first look at it. So hit the zoom button so it looks like a magnifying glass. That way you can click on our document and you can make it as big or as small as you need it to be. Okay, I'm going to go back to the regular size so I can point out a couple things. So looking over this, oops, I gotta get back to the cursor. Looking over this, they do a pretty good job giving you a real quick summary about what education is like in France. There's a few things they do leave out that are, I think, pretty important and are kind of big differences between France and the US. One of the differences is that, yes, on Saturdays, a lot of times they will have school most of the time. Sometimes their schedule works out where they won't have a school day on a Saturday, but usually they go to school from Monday through Saturday. Saturday is like a half day, though, so that around lunchtime they get out. And then Wednesday is either sometimes some schools don't have schools on Wednesday, so they go to school on Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday, half day Saturday. And some schools do Wednesdays kind of like they did their Saturdays, so they go to school just in the morning until about lunchtime. One of the other big differences about education in France and education here in our district and in our state and our in the US here is that they have a lot longer for lunchtime. I know that when we are at school, we have to get our food, eat quickly. Sometimes you guys go outside to recess or to play in the gym basketball. You squeeze all this into like 25 minutes. That's been one of the nice things I think about being home. There's a lot of things I miss about school, but having some time to actually eat and not just try to eat as fast as I can that part has been pretty nice. So in France, the difference is they get about an hour and a half to 2 hours for their lunchtime. And especially in the countryside, so outside the main cities, a lot of those students will go home for lunch, or they'll go to maybe their grandparents' house for lunch. In the city, in Paris and some other big cities like Lyon, they will the older kids, the high school kids, will all go out to a cafe together and have lunch together with their friends. So lunchtime is very different. They also go to school a little bit longer than we do. They get out closer to 5 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock. But again, that's because they're having that big break for lunch, which again, it might feel different, but sometimes maybe having that big break in the middle of your day might be pretty neat. So what I need you to do this week is you're going to just go through, read this, and then the next slide are just a few questions about what you just read. Okay, one thing that I would like you to do while you're filling this out is it would help me, instead of maybe putting the answer next to it and typing it out right here, if you put it underneath it, that would make things a little bit easier for me to read. Okay, if you put it here, no big deal. I can still read it. But again, if you put it underneath it, it just makes it a little bit easier as I'm going through and checking your answers. So if you have any questions, please let me know. But again, you're going to do your answers right here on this Google document. You all have your own individual Google document that I'm attaching, and then you'll just submit it on Google Classroom. All right, guys, have a great week. Toodaloo.